Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. This is a series I do weekly called Transfer Tuesday, where I share our progress towards our financial goals for the calendar year. And this year we are working on two big financial goals: maxing out my Roth IRA with the full $6,000 and paying down our mortgage to be able to drop the PMI by the end of the year. So typically my normal weeks, the first week of the month is typically towards the mortgage, and the remaining weeks are typically towards our Roth IRA. So if you've watched in previous weeks, I've discussed some expenses that we knew were coming and some that we did not know were coming. So last week I mentioned our air conditioner was not working and we had to have somebody come out. So Friday somebody came out and gave us a quote for a new one, and it was a lot higher than I was expecting, but it's kind of something you don't really want to go without. So we decided to move forward with it, and it actually got installed then on Monday. So it was a really fast turnaround time. But that was $6,500. So I was expecting like $3,000 or $4,000. So that hurts. We did have money in savings to be able to cover it, but our savings has taken a huge hit. We did also have a separate sinking fund that I name Home and Auto, but I didn't want to completely deplete that, knowing that in the future we would like to upgrade my van to a newer model at some point. So I didn't want to have to start from zero after wiping out that entire account. So it's mainly coming out of our general savings. I did transfer a little bit out of that home and auto account, but not very much. So we had to pay half of it Friday to secure it, and then we had to pay the other half Monday when they installed it. So I will be honest, I did put them on credit cards only because I wanted to earn points on the large purchase. So Friday after I paid that first half, I immediately went and paid that off. So this second half that just got charged on Monday, I have not paid off yet. I do intend to and not let that just linger. We will not be paying interest on that. That will get paid off in full. So sidebar, but that leads into our progress for this week. So I kind of debated, knowing that we had that huge expense, plus we bought the lumber to build our chicken coop, which was like $1,000. So really feeling the strain on the finances, but I didn't want to not do anything. I committed to doing something every week towards these goals. So I was able to shuffle some money around, and again, knowing that this week is a pay period week, so my husband and I will both be paid at the end of this week. So again, as I've mentioned in previous weeks, I tend to look at the money we have left in checking, and I like to leave a buffer in there, knowing that then we're going to get paid again and it kind of starts the cycle all over. So I was able to move some of that money from checking to savings. So not only does that help replenish a little bit of the expenses of the new AC unit, but also allowed me to still be able to make a transfer this week for Transfer Tuesday. So as I've mentioned before, I typically like to do in increments of 600s because that's what I get to check off on my boxes. However, that was not going to happen this week due to all those other expenses. But I still did do $200. So we knew we had $1,200 remaining to reach our $6,000 goal. So I decided to just do that $200, and then we will have $1,000 left in that goal to achieve yet this year. So I've mentioned that my goal was to try and finish that off as quickly as possible, but I think we're going to need a little bit of time to recoup and not be so gung-ho on these goals at the moment, just for my comfort level of knowing, how much money we have in savings and things like that. Also, we're coming up again on the first of the month where our mortgage will process out of our savings account. So just some of those factors. So we will see what next week will bring with Transfer Tuesday, but I promise it will be some sort of progress because I have committed to doing that. So I'm not gonna not do it because we do still need to achieve those goals. So, really want to stress the importance of emergency funds. So our AC was 20 years old. We didn't want to, spend hundreds or possibly even 1,000 or more, I don't know, to try and fix it when my husband tried his DIY fixes and they did not work. At this point, it wasn't really worth it to us. We decided we needed to just replace it because it was old anyways and was due. Because if we spent the money on a temporary fix, how long would it be before it just died and we had to replace it anyways? So we didn't want to spend extra money to try and fix it when that wasn't really going to be a guarantee. So thankfully we did have that money. The company does also offer a 0% financing, which is really nice. We chose not to do it knowing that we had the money and I didn't want to have just an extra payment every month. We're really on that, debt-free lifestyle of not taking on more debt, even if it's a 0% interest. So we would rather just eat into that savings knowing that it's paid in full and it's done and we can just start over with building savings back up. So that was our approach. You definitely should take advantage of 0% interest though if you can't afford to foot that bill outright. But just the lesson being learned to make sure that you have that money for those kinds of things when you're a homeowner, because $6,500 AC unit or a furnace or a roof leak, things like that are big expenses but very important. You need to be able to handle those as they come at you. So that's all for me for this week. So it was just $200 towards my Roth IRA. We still have $1,000 to go. Maybe in my mind, I'm hoping I can do those in like $500 increments, but again, probably not likely. I've also got some expenses coming up with a work conference I will be going to. I'll be reimbursed for it, but not immediately. So some of that will be out of pocket up front. So we will see what next week brings. Again, maybe just another 200, we will see. But again, I'd love to hear in the comments below what you're working on, what those goals are and how you're achieving them, and hopefully no huge unexpected expenses for you. So have a great week, and I will see you again next week for an update.